Good as new. Let's get on the road again. We are in an undisclosed location, possibly in Denver, Colorado, maybe at a Home Depot. We got some awesome news. I'd like to take a second and thank Onyx Maps for sponsoring today's video. So we got something cool to introduce you guys to. Not only do we have the 1957 Chevy Bel Air, we now have the new Onyx Off-Road Towmobile. We picked up this truck here in Denver, and we're gonna be hooking it up to the trailer and towing the trailer all the way back to Utah. We're relieving Bud of his services and sending him on the road. So he's gonna be taking I-80, we're gonna be taking I-70 over the Rockies, but we've got this Duramax that's gonna be pulling the Corvette, and Hillbilly's gonna drive the 57 until I'm sick of the new truck and ready to drive the 57 again. We've got a few issues. New trucks don't come with hitches, so we went into the Home Depot, couldn't find anything. We ran over to Advanced Auto Parts. We got us a new drop hitch, a new ball hitch, and we're getting it all hooked up. So we're gonna get the ball installed, get it hooked up at the trailer, send Bud on his way, and we're gonna go eat. All right, so we went into Advanced Auto Parts. We found us a 6-inch drop, a 2 5/16 ball, and a wrench. All right, so we've got one issue that we just ran into. Just like everything in our life, we bought a wrench, and check this out. We can't get it to tighten. So we've got a crescent wrench,
but it's only a 12-inch, and it ain't quite big enough.
Day late and $1 short, like always. So we're gonna walk into the Home Depot and go get us a new crescent wrench. Check this out. We have two options. We can either buy a useless crescent that's big enough, or
a spuddy bar.
Buy a spud bar crescent wrench, and we'll use this at the shop.
Maxed out.
Maxed out, it fits. Whoa. Don't hurt yourself. Good enough.
Just smacked myself in the knee with the spud bar, but it's tight, it's not going anywhere. Whoa!
Right, so we are pulling into Glenwood Springs. Now, a year ago, this is where the Charger actually broke down. Cross our fingers, we're still doing awesome. The 57's just cruising right along. It's a little bit rich because the elevation change is making the carburetor just run a little bit richer, which we're not even gonna mess with it because it's still running. We are gonna stop, fuel up the truck, fuel up the 57, grab a few snacks, and then hit the road. So right here is where we had to get pulled last year. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Literally, the gas station is right there. Some super nice guy used his 4Runner and pulled us to the gas station. Oh, they've redone this intersection since last year. All right, so we are fueling the truck up for the first time. Hillbilly just got the 57 all topped off. I haven't put diesel in anything in a long time. Some of you may wonder why we just got this truck. We've been having a lot of issues with our trash truck. We upgraded to something that can pull the Laymo. We pulled the 57, that'll pull the Charger one day. We just needed something super reliable. We teamed up with Onyx Off-Road. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be building this truck out, utilizing all of their elite partners. Now, if you don't know what that is, click the link in the description, go to Onyx Off-Road, download the app, and if you decide to upgrade to the elite membership, you get all these benefits by using their elite partners. Bumpers, winches, tires, there's wheels, there's all sorts of stuff that you guys can utilize discounts on by being an elite partner with Onyx Off-Road. We're gonna build this truck out, we're gonna do some cool stuff to it, and for anybody that downloads the app or gets the elite membership, we're gonna be putting your name on this truck when we go to wrap it in about 3 months. We're gonna be doing the Onyx Off-Road logo. Instead of blocking it out, we're gonna be using names to make the logo. So if you wanna be on this truck and you wanna help us out, click the link in the description and go download the app right now.
We've had a very successure day, haven't run out of gas, and that's because I fixed the fuel gauge. I mean, once in a while, you know, well, the whole time it'll sit there and jump from quarter to where it's supposed to be, to quarter to full. But if you tap the dash, it'll jump how much gas you have, and it'll stay there for a minute. But as soon as it gets to quarter, it doesn't jump around, it does what it's supposed to. So once it hits quarter, then I know, okay, it's time to start looking for a gas station. Success.
I present to you.
We found them. It must just be a East Coast thing, not a West Coast.
Grand Junction, Colorado.
It is the worst drink I've ever tasted in my entire life. It's not good.
It's wonderful. I love it.
It's like a diet dreamsicle.
The other ones were.
Yeah, the other ones were way better. I think we have like 2 more stops and then we'll be home. Home sweet home. We cross over the Utah border And what do you know? It greets it with rain. Blue skies and rain. And I thought we were home free. This is literally Utah in 5 seconds. This is how different the weather can change in just seconds. Torrential downpour and now blue skies, sunny, no rain. So glad to be back in Utah. All right, so I want to let you guys know the 3 things that we're going to do for the Onyx off-road wrap on this truck. So if you download the app, you're going to get your name on the wrap. If you purchase the premium membership, you're going to get a little bit bigger font. If you purchase the elite membership for 1 year from Onyx Off-Road, you're going to get an even bigger font. So for the next 3 months, all of July, August, and September, we're going to be racking up all the names. And after that, we're going to do a wrap on this truck. So if you don't have the app, click the link in the description, go get the app, use my code Layton20 at checkout. You're going to save 20% off, and that way we can track it. On this trip from Ohio, we've been using the Onyx Off-Road app as our speedometer the entire way. So, because obviously the 57 Chevy doesn't have a speedometer. It's been super useful in that aspect. There's so many different capabilities of this map system. Download it today, click the link in the description, and let us know what you use your app for. We're just about to hit Green River, Utah, and it is going to be our last fuel up before we get home. We're about 140 miles from Ephraim, and I've never been so excited to get home in my entire life. We're gonna stop and fuel up before we hit the 100-mile stretch through the canyon. Then hopefully the 57 will have made it trouble-free.
We're almost home. We have like an hour and a half to go. But when I was getting off the freeway, Robby called me and said that it's pouring out ATF on the ground. So I'm gonna pop the hood and check to see if the dipstick went back in and also check the fluid. But if the dipstick fell back in, then we know that's the issue. There's also smoke coming into the cab while I was driving too. So I think the dipstick fell back in.
Oh, I think it's been blowing some fluid out. Not bad for 2,000 miles. So, look at how much fuel has saturated the intake. Yeah. This carb is so rich that our intake manifold gaskets are saturated in wet fuel. So once we get it home, we're definitely gonna have to tune it up a little bit. But it's getting us home, and that's all that matters, so we're not messing with it on the road. Huh. I think we have an overfull transmission. It is still way above the top of the dipstick. So I think we're just super overfull, and so it's just blowing fluid out. This is not good. Look at that.
We're gonna find some electrical tape.
That's been, yeah, we gotta go, that's arcing.
Where's the heat wrap?
Oh yeah, we got some heat, well, but that's metallic. We better go get some, see if they got some electrical
and then
tape.
heat wrap.
Well, if we just
or maybe in a hose in there.
I think if we just electrical tape it, it'll make it home.
Where's all the heater hoses and stuff?
What does that mean?
So what's happened is this sat and rubbed against the metal, and look at that, there's a little burn mark. This has been arcing out. This could have been terrible, because this is our hot wire. Oh, look, you can see right where it's been arcing. Look. Look.
It could cause fire.
Yeah, it'll make things go boom.
Someone will grab a rubber hose real fast.
Did we fill up yet?
No.
Oh, we better fill up. Order of operations. Let's fill up. We'll go inside and see if we can get some electrical tape. Hey, it's technically not broken down. This is preventative maintenance.
So we have to cut the hose in half to put it around the line, or around the cable. So while Robby's taping the cable up, I'm gonna be cutting the line.
Luckily, Love's sells a few things in their trucking section. So I'm just gonna build this back up, put a little protection back on it, and then we'll put the hose on it. This could have been catastrophic failure, but luckily, we like to check our stuff.
Yeah, the car could have been a big ash ball on the side of the road because of that.
Gonna put a little bit of tape on it to hold it. Good as new. Let's get on the road again. I think we just got to fuel up in Salina. We'll be home. No time flat. You excited to get home?
Yes.
Me too.
While we were in the gas station, we got some sunflower seeds. And I have to ask, how do you guys eat sunflower seeds?
Like a normal human being, you take your sunflower seeds, you insert them into your mouth, you crack them all open, and you save the seeds in your cheek. Then when you crack every single shell from your handful, you then proceed to chew all of your seeds together as one reward for all of your hard work.
That's not how I eat sunflower seeds. I eat one at a time. How do you guys eat sunflower seeds? I think the way he eats sunflower seeds is weird.
Do you eat them like normal or like a psychopath?
His way is a psychopath way.
No, my way is normal, her way is psychopathic.
We're so close. We're just driving and it's smoking really bad from the transmission, so I'm trying to see what is going on.
All right, so I accidentally pushed the dipstick in. We're gonna pull it back out and see if it'll stop smoking so bad. It's coming out of the vent, so building pressure.
I'm wondering if it's because it's hot. We need a bigger tranny cooler.
Well, yeah, I think it's a combination of need a big tranny cooler and then something with a vent, but the exhaust is just saturated in oil. Transmission cross member is saturated, the exhaust is saturated, so we're just gonna keep going. Hammer down. We made it 2,000 miles back to Ephraim, Utah. It's late and we're tired, so it is tomorrow. What a trip. We just got off the most epic 2,000 mile trip from Talmadge, Ohio, all the way back to here to beautiful Ephraim, Utah. That was our shakedown run. I think we should pull it in, put it up on the lift, and show you guys what a car that just got built and has 2,000 miles on really looks like after their shakedown run of 2,000 miles. Got a few things I think have happened. Nothing major, but I'm gonna show you there's a few oil leaks, but I think all the tires are gonna be good. We're just gonna go over it from front to back, tell you guys the things that I noticed on the way back that need to be fixed, show you how well the car did.
Did Hillbilly not make it back?
Hillbilly is at the dentist today, getting a post put in. He has 2 more appointments at the dentist before he gets his brand new veneers. Wish him well, support him in his new smile. Hopefully within a couple months, you guys are gonna get to see his brand new smile, which I can't wait to see.
Really not bad, man.
All right, so I'm seeing a couple of things, but nothing major. So one thing I want to address is the fact that I had a ton of comments talking about the steering and how when it's under load, it's going to do all these things. But one thing I don't think I understood is this drag link isn't going to change when it's under full suspension. So it's got a baby mark. After 2,000 miles, there's not even a dent. It's just a little rub mark right there. Steering did not catastrophically fail like a lot of people thought. It just barely touched. Aside from that, on this front end, I don't see anything that alarms me or even concerns me on the front suspension or the steering at all. All the bolts are still in the motor mounts. The motor is all good. Nothing's changed. Nothing's leaking out of the engine. One thing I do see is our power steering has a leak and it's coming out of that front nose cone, so I'm gonna have to address that. I think maybe the bolts just need to be tightened up a little bit. So it's got some residual fluid coming down the frame right here. Nothing super bad. Exhaust has not melted anything over here. Shifter cable's still good. I've got heat wrap right here. That's all fine. We do have some transmission fluid that's been leaking out of the transmission. Now this is what created a ton of smoke. I'm thinking either it came out of the vent or it possibly was blowing out of this pan gasket, because this is super saturated. So we might end up dropping that down and just putting a new pan gasket on it that maybe has some rubber seals like the gasket that we put, the lube. I can't remember what it is. There's a super good gasket you can buy that has rubber on it. So it's either that, because I just felt up here on the top of the transmission and it is completely clean where the vent is. So I don't think that the vent is losing fluid like I thought. I have noticed that the dipstick is a little bit out, so we could be losing a little bit of fluid out of the dipstick hole. That's a little bit loose. Oh, came right out. Oh, that could be one of our major problems. It's building pressure, blowing fluid out of there. So I'm gonna put that back in. Yeah, you can see there's fluid coming here. So that could be our entire issue of why we're getting fluid on the exhaust. That with a combination of maybe the pan gasket. I'm not 100% sure, but it's what it's looking like. So I think if we get a different dipstick, maybe even a stock style dipstick, maybe that'll eliminate our smoking issue, because you can see right here, it's just saturated the exhaust and burned it off. That's where we were getting all our smoke while we were driving. Another comment that we got a ton was the fact that we use self-tapping screws in the transmission crossmember. I can assure you that those bolts are still tight on both sides, and I was a little bit rowdy on this car on the way back. I wasn't super easy on it. I mean, we drove it hard. We had fun with it. Bolts are still tight. Nothing's coming out of the transmission. So everything's pretty secure aside from a little bit of fluid coming out. We do have some saturation over here. That's just the residual transmission fluid that's gotten on our lines. We need to get that all cleaned up, get that transmission to stop leaking. Other than that, to right here, we're still pretty good. So moving to the back, I don't see anything crazy other than Summit Racing sticker melted off. I want to point out the fact that my Robby Layton sticker is still holding strong. Summit Racing sticker delaminated from the heat. My sticker, my Robby Layton Nation sticker, must have some really good adhesive because it stood the test of time and did not come off on our 2,000 mile drive. So that's a testament to our stickers. So make sure you guys go buy some stickers because that helps us pay for cool stuff like this. We can bring you guys more awesome content. Driveline, not a vibration, nothing. That thing did its job. The driveline shop that balanced this driveline for us did an amazing job. I do notice one thing on this rear end. We've got a little bit of a pinion sill leak, so we're probably going to want to put a new pinion sill in that. Other than that, we've got a little bit of fluid here, a little bit of residual coming out of the pinion. Other than that, the rear end, there's no other leaks. Now, one thing I did notice, my driver's side exhaust has fallen out. So right here, we got a big old gap. And that could be where we were getting a lot of exhaust smell inside the car from. So if you look back here, you can see that the exhaust is not pointed correctly. It's down, and up here, it's actually melting the coating on the floor because it's touching the floor. The exhaust needs some attention. Right here, our exhaust on this side is actually rubbing our fuel lines. They're wrapped up in heat shrink tape, but the exhaust is tied against the fuel lines. We're gonna have to assess that, get the fuel lines out of the way, get this exhaust reset where it's not rubbing. So we're gonna do both tailpipes, reposition those. Another thing I noticed, Hillbilly hooked up a fuel gauge. That's why he didn't run out of gas on the way from Denver back. So he actually wired in the old fuel gauge wire, grounded our ground back here, and got the fuel gauge to work. So he cheated.
Kind of work.
It at least said half a tank, and he didn't run out of gas. But anyway, another thing I noticed is right up here, we've got our fuel tank vent. Well, when we go to fill this thing up, gas spews out of the vent because it's not high enough. We're gonna take that vent all the way up, get it to the highest point, which is above that filler neck, to where when we fill that gas tank up, it doesn't leak any fuel. Other than that, tires look great.
No new holes.
No new holes in the floor. Our feet didn't fall through. The license plates and the carpet helped so much. Check this out. You can see our license plates just holding strong. All our self-cappers still in. No issues anywhere. No burnt wires. I would say from what this came from, when it got pulled out of that barn from WD Detailing to what it is now, this is amazing. If you guys haven't watched that, make sure you go watch WD Detailing's video on their channel of when they pulled this out of the barn and they cleaned it up for us to buy. Then took it to our friend Tyler Buckingham's at Buckingham Performance in Sterling, Ohio. The car sat there for 4 or 5 months. We were able to go out there, get it, take it to Summit Racing, and totally rebuild it to where we could drive this thing across the country. Now we're here. So I think we should pull this off the lift, show you guys the top side. These new lights from Challenger Lifts, this is what they're for. They're supposed to go on your lift arms to light up what you're working on. So we've got one light here, one light over there. They're also automatic. Turn auto on, and then watch this. Figure it out. Okay. Somehow they automatic. Oh, there you go. They're motion activated, and then they should time out. So we're gonna shut it off and let this lift down. I literally only see 3 things that could potentially become an issue. So looking at my power steering, I did notice that my fitting for the high pressure side is leaking. So right here, we need to loosen it up and get it to reseat. So that is leaking, and I think that's what's happening is the fluid.
Where is it? Right here?
Yep. So the fitting on my power steering pressure side is leaking. So I can loosen that up and try to get it to reseat. Down here, I can see my header has formed around the gearbox like we thought it would. So it is self-clearance now. So we've got those. So that's self-clearance. The line is leaking a little bit. And then over here, when we were driving, we stopped in Green River and we noticed a little bit of a wear mark in our power line. So our main wire going down had a little cut in it. So we fixed that. Other than that, I don't see anything that's alarming. Nothing is concerning me besides that dipstick. I think that's the root of our whole problem. Is just that dipstick was leaking oil. I think if I get a different dipstick, that should cure that issue. Other than that, I don't see any issues under the hood. We have this residual leak right here on our vent tube. It's not gotten any worse or any better. Overall, I would say that this shakedown run was a complete success. The fact that we drove this 2,000 miles, let's see where the coolant level's at. It might be a little bit low on coolant. Oh yeah, needs some coolant, but it never got hot. It never got hot, but it is down a little bit. So we did lose some coolant. That most likely came out of this overflow. We'll get that filled back up, and it's definitely blowing it out. It wasn't eating it or anything, and we could have had an air bubble in the engine, then it sucked the coolant in, and so then it made the radiator a little bit low. Because this is all dry right here. We only had it blow out like once or twice, and I don't think it would have blown that much out. I'm gonna go with it probably sucked an air bubble in and filled the voids in the engine. Other than that, I can't see any issues. If there's anything specific that you guys would like to see or know about this, let us know in the comments. We'd love to check it out and answer your questions. But there's one last thing I want to show you guys. That windshield right there. You can see how many bugs are on it. I want to show you how easy those bugs come off. You guys saw that we used Avalon King ceramic coating on this windshield, and it saved our butts on the way back. Well, now it's completely saturated in bugs because the trip from Green River back to Salina, Utah had bugs like you wouldn't believe. Well, you can see them on the front and on the windshield. So I want to see how easy these bugs come off. Any of you out there that drive a vehicle know how hard bugs are to come off. So I'm going to put some glass cleaner on it, let it sit for a minute, and see if we can wipe them off. This will be the true test whether or not this ceramic coating is worth it. I just want to let this sit and saturate all the bugs for a minute. We'll let this sit for a minute. Now we're going to see if it wipes off. So that's just wiping. That's not scrubbing it. Look at all the bugs that came off. But I think with a little bit of elbow grease, for the most part, those are gone. I mean, those bugs are coming off fairly easy. I'm gonna scrub this off. Bugs do not ever come off a windshield that easy. Is it perfect? No. Probably needs one more coat of glass cleaner, but that's pretty dang good if you ask me. A lot of times I use a razor blade and I have to scrub it with steel wool and do that to get bugs off. It works pretty dang good. So I'm a believer in the ceramic coating. Anyway, so I showed you guys what the windshield did. Super pumped on the way this turned out. We didn't have any major issues with the 57. Super happy about that. This is where I need your guys' help. Let us know in the comments what you think we should do with this car. We've had our fun with it. We're still gonna have fun with it, but what would you guys like to see us do to this thing? You wanna watch us redo it? Do you want us to leave it the way it is? I don't know. Give us your craziest ideas in the comments so that we can do something cool with this, or we just leave it and we have fun with it. I mean, I think it looks awesome the way it is. It's functional. I mean, there's a few more things that we need to do. We're gonna do a couple more things interior wise. We want to make it nice and comfortable. We're going to do the wiring. We're going to put some gauges in it, do all those things that we need to where we don't run out of gas anymore. Well, I mean, it has a fuel gauge now because Hillbilly hooked it up, but we want to really make this thing roadworthy. We're going to do another video where we go through and we actually correct all the little things that we showed you guys, but that's going to be for another day. So I want to thank Summit Racing for the partnership that we had with them to bring this car to real life and to be able to take this car from basically nothing when WD Detailing pulled it out of a barn to now when we drove it 2,000 miles across the country. Thank you, Summit Racing. Without them, this wouldn't have been a reality. So this is where I need you guys' help. Please help us get Summit Racing's YouTube channel over 200,000 subscribers. We're at 195,000 right now. You guys have already been coming through. We just need to get it over that mountain. If we can get over 200,000, they're gonna do another collaboration with us. Don't know when, don't know what, but if you guys wanna see that, let us know. Also, if you guys wanna see some of the ham radio stuff that they have with DX Engineering, let us know in the comments. If we get enough interest, we'll go out there, we'll get ham radio certified, and we'll do some cool stuff and show you guys some cool things, but we need your help and let's do this together so that we can do cool stuff in the future. Thanks to everybody that was involved in it. Thank you, Bolts and Nuts. Andy Graham, you came through and helped us a ton, and I'm just super pumped on this and appreciate everybody that was a part of it. So we appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you go check out the rest of the series. As always, go check out this next one.